coming up on Total Packers.
Jimmy Graham's got it, stumbling close to the first down. He's got the first down. Oh, that was huge.
Sunday's win was filled with big plays. We'll relive the key moments with the head coach and
10 to the 5 in the end zone. High stepping, touchdown, Davante Adams.
Davante Adams stops by to discuss his record-setting performance. Plus, we'll get you set for the rematch with San Fran in the NFC title game. Total Packers with Matt LaFleur is next. Hello everyone and welcome to Total Packers with Matt LaFleur. Larry McCarron along with the head coach of the Green Bay Packers who are getting ready for the NFC Championship game. Matt, how does it feel to be one step away from the Super Bowl?
Feels pretty good, but we know the challenge that we have in front of us. Obviously a really good San Francisco 49er team, one of the elite teams in the National Football League, and they took it to us pretty good last time we played them. So our guys are going to have a great week of preparation, and we need everybody at their best in order to give these guys a tough game.
After that first game against the Niners, you guys have reeled off 6 straight wins. Might it have been some sort of turning point for you?
Yeah, I think so. Anytime you get humbled in this league, it makes you take a good hard look at yourself, and I liked how our teams responded, and they've been very businesslike, and I feel like we've improved each and every week.
How will you use that game? Because it was ugly on a whole bunch of different levels. Is it a teaching tool, a motivational aid? How will you use it?
I think you can do it a little of each, and obviously you want to look at it, make sure you don't repeat the same mistakes, and then I think our guys will be pretty motivated from that as well. But I do know one thing going into this game: we're going to have to make sure that we take care of the football and have to create some turnovers on defense and or special teams.
Now you look at your relationships with the coaching staff out there, your brother Mike, Kyle Shanahan, Robert Saleh, the defensive coordinator. Now, with all those relationships and connections, does that make your preparation easier or harder?
I think it makes it business as usual, to be honest with you. And I don't think we'll be talking much this week.
Don't blame you for that. We'll go back to the 49er game later on in the program, but let's talk about the victory over Seattle. And if it was ever a case where we needed another example of whatever it takes by your football team, this was it. In the final 3:22, Preston Smith gets a huge sack of Russell Wilson, who's impossible to sack, and then you hit 2 third and fairly long plays to eat up the rest of the clock. Whatever it takes, once again, that's part of your team's persona.
It sure is. I thought that was pretty indicative of our entire season thus far, and making plays down the stretch that we needed to make to win the ball game. And you said it, that was a key defensive stop with that sack on 3rd and 5 on Russell Wilson by Preston. And they had scored the previous 3 drives in the second half to make it a tight game. And then for our offense to close out the game the way they did, and 2 huge 3rd down conversions, the one to Davante when Aaron gave him the double move, and then the one to Jimmy Graham that it took a while to rule a 1st down, but ultimately it came through. And just really happy for our guys and all the hard work that they've put in.
Let's talk about 3rd downs in general. 9 for 14, 64%. You've been talking all year, we need to improve this area. You sure improved it against Seattle.
Yeah, I thought it was a credit to our guys. They went out there, they knew the plan inside and out, and went out there and executed. And just really happy to see that improvement. And again, that is going to be critical for us moving forward to go into San Francisco and beat the Niners.
Take me through this, Matt. Somewhere over the weekend, Brian Balaga gets sick, but then you decide, well, we can have him up and active for the game, but then you decide, no, he can't play, and you got to go with Jared Valdir. what a savior he's been, and what a nightmare for a head coach before a big game.
Yeah, nothing like a little adversity on the day of the game. You know, Brian, he's as tough as they come, and for him not to be able to go, it was something serious. And I think it was just a 24-hour bug, but he wasn't feeling well. And Jared found out in pregame warmups that he was going to get the start, and what a job he did, because we didn't really miss a beat on offense.
Thank you, Matt. Coming up, record-setting receiver Davante Adams. Don't go away. How do you look at this rematch that's coming up?
We know it's a winner-go-home type game, so we got to come with an excellent plan. Guys got to be ready to go, how they did with this one, fast start, take care of the ball and things like that. And I feel like, you know, I feel like we can go out there and win any game.
Total Packers with Matt LaFleur is brought to you by Bellin Health and by Fleet Farm.
Throws right side. He's got Adams in Seattle territory. He looks, he lost. Left side, Davante's got it. Touchdown! Pops it over the left side. Davante wide open. Outside the numbers 20. Cuts it back right past Flowers. 10 to the 5. To the end zone. High stepping. Touchdown. Davante Adams.
Welcome back to Total Packers, where our very special guest is Davante Adams. Davante, welcome. Thank you for being here. And you just set a new Packer playoff record with 160 receiving yards against Seattle. Now, this place has been here a long, long time. On the cool meter, is it kind of cool, way cool? How do you feel about it?
It's extremely cool. You know, the numbers are not necessarily what I'm after. You know, I hold myself to a standard of playing well in the games, trying to, you know, achieve a certain stat line for the better of the team. You know, obviously, want to do everything I can to contribute to make sure we're winning games. So, if records come in and you know, in the time of that, then, you know, it's even better.
Davante, before the game was 5 minutes old, you have 2 catches for 34 yards and a touchdown. Is there something to be said for a good old-fashioned fast start individually?
Yeah, I mean, that's really what you're after as a wideout, is getting that fast start, getting a couple balls, you know, getting you in your groove. You know, Aaron obviously throwing some great balls in that early part of the game. You know, found me on a crossing route. Again, on the touchdown double move, it was something that he, you know, saw early in the week and something that he wanted to get to. So, you know, having Matt being in a position to call that play, obviously that would put me in a good position to go out and make one. So I just had to finish it.
I want to ask you about that first touchdown catch, because you and Gmo kind of fake like you're going to cross,
rubber,
and then don't.
Yeah.
That's pretty clever stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a copycat league, so we see similar things on film. We've actually had a play similar to that going into this week, so we just kind of switched it up a little bit, hoping to get man coverage. We got it, and yeah, we just both had to win our one-on-ones. And obviously, I ended up with the ball, but one thing people aren't going to realize is how bad Gmo beat his guy as well. So he could have got the ball and got in the end zone just as easy as I did.
Also want to talk to you about your second touchdown catch. Now, that move totally turned around Trey Flowers, just scalded him. When you think of that move, do you have a name for it? How do you look at that?
Yeah, I mean, the route has a name, but it's just more so if you get that man coverage, it's the presentation of the route. Obviously, you want to sell it to really get him to feel like I'm urgently trying to get across the field. So with the head and eyes, to be able to get him to, you know, turn and get on his horse and head that way, I just got to shut it down. Slippery surface, so making sure I get my footing right, getting out of it, and once again, a great ball by Aaron, so I just had to do the rest.
Davante, is the chemistry between you and Aaron like at an all-time high?
Yeah, man, I think so. And the third and 8, third and 9 at the end of the game, I think that was that proves it right there. Like I said, I didn't run the route anything like what it was drawn up, and I'll be the first to tell you. Sometimes things happen where you have that connection with your guy, and you know, it was just one of those ones where I got to where I needed to be. He saw me there, and he just let it fly. Whereas another quarterback or another wideout maybe would have ran the route how it was on paper, and then got stuck and not been a viable option. So after playing together so long, you start to, you know, be able to read each other, and he obviously could read me very well on that play and hit me on a big game.
Gmo was saying after the game that he thought a big night for you was coming because you're kind of psychic and you employ some visualization.
Yeah.
Is that true? And could you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, Marquez is the only guy who actually knew that I was psychic heading into this game. You know, due to a few things while I was actually hurt, I called out 5 or 6 different turnovers, and I'd never said anything else throughout the game, and I just called it each time. I said, we're about to get a pick right here, and it happened 5 or 6 times while I was hurt. So Marquez was hip to it the whole time. Gmo, I just let him and Jake know in practice that I was psychic, so when I told him I was going to have a big one, I guess he finally understood it after this game.
Devontae, earlier this season you missed 4 games with a serious toe injury. Now, having watched you the past 6 seasons, I know you're a warrior. How many games was it before it really felt 100%? Or does it even now?
Still not 100%. I'm still dealing with a lot of, at this point, it's just soreness and pain. It's not necessarily, I'm not putting my toe at risk or anything. I wanted to make sure I stayed out as long as, until it was actually healed. Feels a little bit more sore in practice than it does on Sundays, but something that, I can battle through and, be able to be there for my teammates.
You guys have made the NFL's Final Four, so that officially makes you a special team. Now, the outside world, they may be catching on to that fact just now, but you guys on the inside, when did you feel like this group, this team might be or has that mystical it that you're special?
Honestly, I felt that way the whole way, but it was kind of solidified when I wasn't able to be out there on the field and, to go watch my boys take care of business the way they did. That just kind of, like I said, put a stamp on it. And I really realized at that point that we were one of the most balanced and deep teams in the league, and was very proud to see what they were capable of doing.
Last time you guys faced the 49ers, got hammered pretty good. How do you look at this rematch that's coming up?
In a sense, we have nothing to lose because of the way we play, but we do have everything to lose at the same time. So we know it's a win-or-go-home type game, so we got to come with an excellent plan. Guys got to be ready to go, how they did with this one, fast start, take care of the ball and things like that. And I feel like, as long as we don't beat ourselves up, that we go out there and play our ball and do what we do as Packers and the type of players that we have in this locker room. I feel like we can go out there and win any game.
Devontae, thank you for being with us, and go get them.
Thank you, boss. Appreciate it.
Coming up, this week's Chalk Talk. Don't go away. The Packers put up terrific third down numbers against Seattle, and they began with flawless execution on the very first third down. 3rd and 8, and both Jimmy Graham and Geronimo Allison are facing man coverage. You've heard of pick plays. They are so yesterday. In today's game, you rub coverage off. Look at the position of Geronimo and the guy covering him, and look at what that does to the guy trying to cover Jimmy Graham. He can go over the top, he can go underneath, but he can't go through. No contact, no penalty, but just the traffic creates the yard or 2 of separation that you need. Now, let's go to the line of scrimmage or slightly beyond. And at the top of your screen, look at Billy Turner help Jared Valdir knocking a Seahawk to the ground. Then at the bottom of your screen, look at David Bakhtiari knocking Jadeveon Clowney to the ground. Lots of good things going on all at once, but the Seahawks get paid too. They walk up Bobby Wagner, and they want Corey Linsley to slide in his direction. Just what the Packers do. Now, they want this defensive tackle to blindside Corey, ricochet off, and get some pressure that way. And they're going to take this defensive tackle and loop him around, creating all kinds of havoc. And the key guy is the rookie, Elton Jenkins. He does not let Corey get blindsided. He carries that man down, switches off, and the Packers are in great shape on that stunt. Now, what about the trigger man, Aaron Rodgers? Where is he going with the football? Oh, that's how that works. 11 moving parts, all moving together. During the regular season, the Packers' third down conversion rate was 36%. Against Seattle, a sizzling 64%.
That's been our Achilles heel throughout the season. So I think being on the same page, Aaron doing what he does best, carving up a defense. I mean, I think you saw it early that he was on, and when he's on, I mean, that's tough. That's tough, man. Good luck.
Total Packers with Matt LaFleur is brought to you by your local Chevrolet dealer, by Johnsonville, and by Spectrum.
I'll tell you what, hell of a finish right there. Hell of a finish. 4-quarter battle. Wouldn't want it any other way, man. You guys don't blink.
Welcome back. Time to hand out game balls, and Matt, on offense, you went with the dynamic duo, Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams.
Yeah, both of those guys were clutch performers. Davante broke a franchise record for most receiving yards in a playoff game. I was really happy for him to go out there and do that. Obviously, he had the 2 touchdowns and multiple key conversions on 3rd down, and I thought Aaron did such an outstanding job throughout the course of the game, and obviously, you know, highlighted by those throws late in the game.
Defensively, go with Kenny Clark and Zadarius Smith. Zadarius had 2 sacks, Kenny 1. And I think if it wasn't Russell Wilson back there, they could have combined for 10 because they were disruptive all game long.
They sure were. And Zadarius, I think he had 10 quarterback pressures. He was in the backfield most of the day. And, you know, it's a credit to Russell Wilson, his ability to escape the pocket and make people miss. And Kenny Clark, he is so consistent in both the run and the pass. Did a great job on the 3rd down that enabled us to stop them in a short yardage situation on the first 3rd down of the game.
Special teams, Oren Burks, who finished the regular season tied for the team lead in special teams tackles, and he picked up right where he left off with like 2 tackles, 1 assist.
Yeah, he was all over the place on teams, and he's been pretty consistent for us throughout the course of the season. Just real happy that he went out and continued to do what he does.
All right, coming up, the last word from the coach. Stay with us. Welcome back to Total Packers. Time for the last word from the coach. And Matt, now that it's history, that first game against the 49ers, might it be not such a bad thing that you guys came out on the wrong end of the final score? Because coming into the rematch, you're the team with something to prove, you know, that kind of self-redemption thing. Might it be, in the past tense, not a bad thing?
Well, we'll see, depending on the result on Sunday. But you never want to lose a game, but they definitely took it to us and embarrassed us. So we know we're going to have our work cut out for us. And in order to beat the best, we got to be at our best. And just really looking forward to the challenge.
Thank you, Matt. Best of luck against those 49ers. And thank you for watching. Until next time, take care.